Any artist that's sending me music, if you dissing your ops or saying people's name, you can make it and put it out on the internet. I'm not playing it. So for me to be able to do that with my family, spend time, is more success than worrying about the next bag.
What has been your biggest challenge as a DJ in hip hop?
Not everyone can be an artist, and if you do, you have to go through these steps, you know, to become a little more solid. Because we're getting so much music, so many artists, but not everyone is good or not everyone is talented. Lil TJ, like as far as like playing music on the radio, and they didn't have nothing at the time. Yeah. I've seen a few artists that I have relationships with die, right, off some street shit.
Give the people, man, your background story and things like that, how you grew up.
I couldn't rap, but I knew I loved music and I love hip hop. My cousins, my brothers, everybody playing hip hop. That's just where I'm from. Nobody in my family was in the industry or nobody was successful in music.
Back at it. You already know Podcast Central. Coastal Chronicles NYC. I'm your boy Tank Sinatra, a.k.a. Taino Domingo, a.k.a. call me anything but late for dinner because I'm fucking hungry. You know what I'm saying, man? But as always, I got my brother to the left of me, the Activation King, Lower East Side's own Dren Star. Talk to me, baby.
What's going on, man? We back at it.
Yes,
you know what
sir.
I'm saying? Another week, another episode. You know what I'm saying? I got to start looking into the camera. I'm getting the whole vibe of this. But yeah, man, before we start this episode, I want to give a rest in peace to Clark Kent. You know what I'm saying? He was a legend in this music industry.
R.I.P., man. We losing legends, man.
We definitely lost a good one, rock family. But yeah, what's going on, brother?
Ain't nothing, man. I'm just happy, man. We doing what we need to do. We always got good, great guests. Forget about good.
Of course.
And we got another one today.
Yeah, I got to shout out the sponsors. Big shout out to Drewski, you know what I'm saying? It's the family. Red Bull, you know what I'm saying? Paper Planes, we activated, baby. What's going on? Let's get it.
Double cross love. But check it, though. For our next guest, music has always been more than a sound. It's been a purpose. Growing up in New Jersey, he developed an unbreakable bond with hip-hop, knowing even as a kid that he was destined for this life. With guidance from icons like Cypher Sounds and Angie Martinez, he pushed his way up through the ranks at Hot 97. First as the producer for Angie Martinez show, where he honed his craft and built his expertise behind the scenes. Over time, he became an essential force, working with artists like Mano and Jim Jones, making his presence felt across the industry. Determined to make music the world on his own terms, he co-founded the movement with Cypher Sounds, a global collective of DJs and artists driven by passion and creativity. In 2015, the movement took off, hosting a sold-out showcase and partnering with OG Soul to create a merchandise line. Currently, he hosts a new Movement radio program on Hot 97 and a new Movement live series on YouTube, reaching audiences all over. Outside of the music scene, he's also made his mark on Love and Hip Hop, where he joined the cast with his then girlfriend, now wife, Sky. His journey wasn't without challenges, but he showed his commitment to being multifaceted in entertainment, introducing one of the newest elite members of the DJ generation and a multi-talented hip-hop connoisseur with a story as powerful as his beats. I need y'all to give it up for DJ Drewski.
Amazing intro.
Talk to me, my brother.
First off, before we get started, where'd you created that? You made that up or you found that online?
Listen, beloved, I'm going to tell you like this, right? Obviously, and this no disrespect, but you don't know what we do here.
Right. Well, clearly you do research. I know that. I've seen some of the past interviews and past guests.
Yeah.
But that I might need. I don't know if it belongs to me or you.
Listen, that belongs to you. Shout out to
whoever put that together.
Yes.
Publicist, Chanel, I don't know, but I'm gonna start using that.
Listen, this is what he does. Every time we have a guest and he goes off on that, on what he does with the intro, just like
that was hard.
Yeah, my brother. I just shout out to my partner. You know, Miss J, she gets busy when it comes to this. We both collab. I'll be like, yo, this is the outline, and she runs with it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm impressed. That's how you start off an interview, just so y'all know.
Listen, my brother, like I told you, man, you a breath of fresh air in this industry. You know what I'm saying? My brother, he's corporate. Me, I'm still on the rough side of things.
Right.
So I just be trying to put my poker face when I see a dirt bag, and I just be like, just play your position.
Right.
But you, bro, nah, for real, though. Like, you dope, bro.
I appreciate it.
And that's why I told you a couple weeks ago I need you on the show, brother. You understand what I'm saying?
We here, you know what I'm saying? Dren is, as we build in the industry, he's becoming, just you start seeing people a lot more, right? And for me to see how hard he works and just to be around him sometimes, it's still inspiring to me and just what you guys do, even little stuff. People don't realize, like, that little intro, no one's ever intro like that. And I don't even know where that came from, who wrote it. So it's like, okay, cool, let's talk about it. right? So shout out to y'all, and I appreciate you having me here.
Yeah, you already know, brother. But you know, unfortunately, we just lost another icon in this business. You got any stories with the OG Kent by any chance?
Yeah, like, you know, being a young DJ, those are the guys you look up to, right? And before we cracked the mic, you said, like, yo, we've been losing a lot of people, right? Including Mr. C, RP Mr. C. But these are the guys that K-Slay, like, I looked up to as a young DJ. So it gets, like, not scary, but, like, damn, like, what do I have to do for myself in 20 years to avoid this happening, right? But, yeah, Clark Kent, we just was together. I was working with a tequila company. We had an event, and I'm trying to remember who the guest was. I forgot what the event was, but they booked me to DJ, and they told me, yo, Kent's going to be there. Like, Clark Kent's going to be there. I was like, oh, shit. It's like my first time DJing with him, you know, being on the same bill in a sense. So even this far in my career, and this was last year, I accomplished a lot, but still, that the young DJ in me is still, that creates excitement. Like, damn, I knew him for a while. We seen him throughout my career in this industry. Him and Cypher had a great relationship, you know, but to be still years later to be on the same bill with someone like that is still exciting. And this was like a year ago, and he showed nothing but love. You know, it was always love. And some of the OGs in the game, it's hard for them to show love to the next generation of DJs or artists, right? Like, low key, and I don't understand it, but I've been places and around people where I was like, oh, wow, this is my first time meeting them, and I could feel that sucker shit that you was talking about, like that hate. They don't even know me, but just from the outside, they hear things, and it's kind of like, I'm not your competition. You inspire me to be here. Clark Kent was one of them dudes that show love, like genuine love, and I was like, okay, cool. Once you get that stamp from an OG, it's like, all right, cool, I'm doing something right. Even though I know my career is where it's at and financially and everything, but it's them stamps still mean something. And for him to put his arm around me, it still felt like, okay, cool, like I'm doing something right. Like I'm respected by certain people of a certain caliber, and it goes a long way.
It don't get bigger than that. And I just want to say, for the people that don't know, you know, you just mentioned something. It's a lot of things and a lot of times, right? Like, not to say you're not talented, right?
Right.
So a person that's talented, right, they don't go the extra mile than a person that has less talent than them and is willing to put in the work.
Right.
Besides somebody that has talent and they be like, man, I'm talented. My shit gonna take me somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody sees you, bro, like, I don't know how old you are, but back in the days, Living Color, they had this thing with the Jamaicans. They had 15 jobs. Bro, like, you out here working.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And I've seen it personally, and I see it on your gram, bro. Like, of course, that'll intimidate somebody that thinks because they're talented or they have a name.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? They supposed to be in the position that you at, or mad that they're not in your position.
Mm-hmm. But it'd be people that I feel past my position, right? Like, you are OG, you a legend. How can you block somebody from an opportunity? Like, you know, I just don't come from that cloth. I come from giving everybody opportunity if they deserve it or if they work for it or whatever it is. Besides talent, you got talent, but if you're working hard, and I see that, if you're an artist, I'm gonna support you. There's people that will block your blessing because they're intimidated or, you know, and they create these scenarios of why you shouldn't get an opportunity. But like you said, in this room is nothing but positive energy and supporting one another, and that goes a lot further than blocking people's blessings.
Yeah, bro. At the end of the day, and we're gonna move forward from this, but just to keep it, a lot of people living off what they did last year,
right,
what they did 10 years ago.
Right.
You're only good as your last hit. You know what I'm saying? In this industry, let's be honest. So when people see you, once again, they like, damn, I ain't been hot since. I just got a name at this point. You dig what I'm saying? But moving further along, beloved, give the people, man, your background story and things like that, how you grew up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, regular hip hop stories of a young man, and people be confused because they think it might be only for Latino kids or black kids. Like, no, white kids grow up in the hood too, and unfortunately, majority growing up, that's where I was. Like, and that's where I come from, and that's why people ask, yo, you always knew you wanted to be a DJ? I was like, no, I always knew I loved hip hop. And growing up, you start learning yourself. I knew I couldn't rap. but I knew I loved music and I love hip hop. My cousins, my brothers, everybody playing hip hop. That's just where I'm from. I might have been 3 white kids in my whole school. You know what I'm saying? So it's never, I never thought about race or nothing till I was an adult. And I'll tell you that story, but it's like I went on tour with Mano and finally we went out the tri-state. First time in like these Midwest states. I was like, oh, the racism, it does exist. But I never really, we from New York, so it ain't really matter. And I learned that as an adult. But growing up, typical, urban neighborhood. I went to like Elizabeth High School in Jersey. Once I realized, okay, I got to figure this out. I want to do music. Nobody in my family was in the industry or nobody was successful in music. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to jump on this train, go into Manhattan and figure this out. So I used to sit in the studio audience of like 106 in Park and TRL and the Sucker Free Countdown was on MTV. And when I first started going, I wait in line outside to sit in the studio audience and Clue was the host. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to run up on him. I'm going to build a relationship with Clue. Then literally like 3 weeks later, I go back and Clue's not the host no more. So I'm like, oh, shit. How the hell am I going to get in this DJ? I don't know no DJs. I can't get into the club. I'm too young. And then Cypher Sounds took the hosting gig. And every time on my way out, he's in the dressing room. And Cypher was cool. And that's probably where, I learned a lot as far as personality goes from Cypher. But his dressing room door was open. He'll be chilling. I pop my head in. Yo, Cypher. I'm a young DJ. If you ever need an intern, yeah, I got you. And this happened for like months, but I still kept going up there doing the same thing. And then finally, they reach out like, yo, you really want an intern? Cypher said you gave him his number. Come down to the office. And at the time, they had like me and the Sky was part of his like management crew. I'm like, all right, cool. If this is what I got to do to get in, I'm gonna get in. But it was like office work, like sitting in his office. I'm like, this is cool. But then I kept telling him, yo, let me come to you. Let me go with you to the station. I'll drive, whatever. And at the time, he was at Sirius XM. He had Hot 97 and doing MTV. And boom, like just being around him, just keeping me next to him. I learned so much. And just the way he moved and building relationships. And then just started applying it to myself and building my brand outside of like everything that was going on. And then just started slowly connecting and doing multiple jobs. Like when I first started at Hot 97, I wasn't DJing on the radio. Like you got to get literally blessed in to be a DJ on air. I was shooting, editing videos, shooting Angie's interviews. And that's how we built the relationship. She's like, yo, Drewski comes in, he shoots the interview. He don't ask artists for pictures. He don't bother nobody. He got the interview edited before I leave at 7 o'clock. And then once a producer role opened up for her show, she's like, I want him. I just love his work ethic. I was like, all right, that's one step closer to be in the studio, and it just building. It took a long time. So like when people say things or they don't understand, it's like, it's like I've been at Hot 97 since 2008 and still ain't get my just due. Like my brand and me as a DJ at Hot 97 is pretty big outside, like for the people. They think I'm on every day. They think, you know what I'm saying? They don't realize right now I'm only on 1 hour a week, but outworking their full-time staff. And that's just what it is.
Mind-boggling.
Did you come from the Crate era or the Serato era?
No, it was like the very end of the Crate era. So, but when I started interning for Cypher, he just like transitioned into Serato.
Got it.
Like just transitioned. So it was like still new, like, we kind of learned it together in a sense.
So were you DJing before that, or this
is
something?
So before, like, in the neighborhood, baby showers. And,
that's how everybody starts. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like local stuff, yeah. So I was doing that before, just to the practice time, So I went, like, that wasn't part of my professional career, but that's what led me into, okay, I'm doing this locally in the hood, house parties, school parties. What's the next? Like, I got to level up at some point. And I didn't realize DJing is like a career because it always felt like a hobby. Right? I always thought the people on the radio, like, they had jobs too. I didn't realize, like, yo, that's a career. Because as a kid, you think it's just fun work. But then once I learned, like, oh, this is their career. Like, they feed their family. They build business off of this. And I could do this. Like, I could do it better than them. That was the mind state coming from where we come from, because you don't have nothing, so you're gonna grind and figure it out, and that's pretty much what I did. Like, because kids ask me all the time, like, yo, what's some advice? I'm like, yo, just whatever that dream is, just continue to follow it. You know, sometimes it might take longer than others. I've seen DJs start, you know, before me and after me, and I've been bypassing, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, just stay consistent and stay true to who you are. Like, people try to flip up, like turn, whatever it is. Like, join a DJ crew to try to like level up. It's like, don't force it. I was in the mix of, do I become a heavy hitter DJ or a pitbull DJ at the time, Flex, and I had the opportunity to like kind of do both, like pick one. So I'm like, that's the position you want to be in, where you don't even have to choose. Cypher was a pitbull, Enough was a heavy hitter. Now I got close relationships with them. I'm like, that's the type of position you want to be in. Don't dick ride or do stuff that you wouldn't, that's not you. And I see that a lot. Like with artists just kind of like trying to just get cosigns, and I get it, but then it don't last. Like, that shit don't last. It gotta be real for it to last.
Especially you put that work in, so
right on top of everything.
You know what I mean?
The work.
Yeah. Because you could get stamped, but if it don't add up, you know what I'm saying? What you gonna hang your hat on?
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? So what was the first song, or was there a DJ when you was growing up that made you say, first of all, you know, you fell in love with hip hop. I need to know what made you fall in love with hip hop. It's a 2-part question.
Right.
And what DJ was you looking at after you found hip hop? Like, yo, this is what I want to do as a profession.
Yeah, I just think my
not even as a profession, because we just said that you didn't know it was a profession.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That got you into that lane.
Yeah, the music was just the soundtrack of my life. Like, you know, as a kid outside in the summertime and the cars pulling up and the radio on the porch, like it was just always hip hop music around me. So that's what I kind of only knew, hip hop music from a baby to like when I decided, oh, I love this. So I think that's just what it was. But for me personally, I feel like probably Flex was like the first dude I realized like, oh, he's a superstar DJ. Cause I knew DJs that did, you know, my 14th birthday, whatever, like other local DJs as a kid. But he was like the first superstar DJ I knew. Because he was doing car shows. We would see him at, you know, outside of the club. He had other stuff going on. Mm-hmm. So he was like one of the like big names as a kid. Like you realize, oh, there's superstar DJs. As far as radio goes, like Angie Martinez was another like superstar radio host. So those were like a big deal to me. And then, you know, by those were like the first two where I was like, oh, okay, like, superstars, like these are fucking celebrities, and you don't even know what they look like just off the voice, because at that time it was no social media. They was just rocking off the radio, and the name was so big. I was like, that's gangster. Like, people know your name and don't even know what you look like.
Yeah, radio, I mean, I'm glad you said that. Like, radio at that time was social media. That's where you got the news from. That's where you got everything that with the gossip, the phone calls, like
interviews,
everything. I mean, like before radio, like if you didn't get it on radio, you had to get it on a mixtape or something. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now when dudes is beefing, they going back and forth, they going right to the gram, and this is happening in real time. Yeah. So, you know, you came, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, I think you came like during that transitional era. Right. Where, because, I mean, I came from radio too, but my opinion is radio doesn't have the strength that it used to have, because now you have streaming service. Again, we didn't have there was no Apple Music, there was no Spotify. So radio dominated the world. So like being on the platform like Hot, I mean, still like Hot 97 dominates. New York is the number one market in the world. But now, you know, you have other stations, you have other you know, corporations,
other outlets, other platforms that you could. You know, even music now, the DSPs is getting it before the DJs was really like getting it first.
And that was, you know, that was the thing. Like, you know, when back in the days when, let's say Mano, like you fuck with Mano heavy, like back in the days when Mano wanted to break a record, you would go to a DJ.
You had to. There was no
such thing.
Place to go, right?
Yeah, you can't just drop it on Spotify, Instagram.
Right. Oh, that stories is legendary.
And it hits.
Mano stories is legendary.
Oh, no, yeah, trust me, I know.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, running down on, you know what I'm saying? But again, it comes from that, we come from that era. Right. You know what I'm saying? Where you needed a DJ to break your record. And it was like, all right, like how do you approach these dudes? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yo, son, you don't play my record, it's going to be some, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure you went through that through that chamber, and you probably still do because you are a DJ.
100%.
And there's a whole, and I'm gonna touch on this. We had a few DJs here, but I'm gonna touch on it with you.
Okay.
What's your, and let the world know, because this is real. I know
I'm
you
different.
can't get too much into it because there's a lot of politics. But what's your perspective on payola? Because for a lot of people that's watching this pod that don't understand how these things work, you just can't go up to a DJ and be like, "Yo, play my record on hot. I got you." It don't work like that. So,
like you're saying that. So this is where I fucked up the game for New York. Is that I was allowing artists just to come to me and supporting, like without money. You know what I'm saying? I don't take money to play. If I felt like, if I seen A Boogie was selling out shows at BB King's, I was like, yo, send me the music. We got to support this kid. But what you're talking about, I think people got to realize it's music business. And there's people that are in position that promote records. Like, you got to go see them for the business. They build relationships with the radio stations and the DJs and all that. So as an artist or as a label, you got to figure out who's the people that's moving the music around. Who's getting it to DJ Drewski? Who's getting it to the stations or to come in here and playing it for you? So as an artist, that's who you got to go see. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Shampoos of the world.
Yeah. We that have them on here too. I'm glad you said that.
That's who I tell artists, like, yo, don't come to me with the money. That's not my job. You got to go see a record promoter. That's their job. That's what they do. Like, so I always suggest do that because the record promoter is going to handle the rest. That's their job. But unfortunately, there are DJs that cut the record promoter out and don't play by the music business rules.
Yeah.
So that's what confuses everyone. Then there's DJs like me that people get mad because I fuck up the DJs that are taking money and I fuck up the record promoters because they come to me and I'm supporting them just off the strength of like their hard work. But that in return is what I feel like what got me to where I'm at too. It's part of who I am. Is part of why I'm successful is because I did take that chance and said like,
and it's risky.
Yeah, and it's risky. Because you get the hate from other DJs, you get the hate from the record promoters, you get, you know what I'm saying? Then you get the artists just always running down because they think you're just a nice person and they could take advantage of your time and your environment. No matter, I could be getting paid $2,500 to DJ a club for an hour. I'm only there for an hour. You as an artist want to come during that hour and start talking to me, ask me to play your music, not realizing like I'm doing a service. I'm getting paid to be here. Somebody paid me to be here, so I gotta do my best. But you interrupting that, and I get it. Sometimes they don't understand, but it comes with like who the brand I built, and I understand that too. So it's like it's just being able to communicate the right way. There's a lot of DJs that don't know how to communicate, and when an artist is coming to ask to play their music, they feel like they get impressed, so they try to avoid new artists, avoid people. Like, you know, it's just who you are as a person and the environment you came up in. I'm used to, like, from a kid, I was used to the pressure and the hustlers. And so you come up to me, like you said, I could already peep it from a mile away. But I know how to communicate with you to keep it at ease. But I'm not hiding or I don't look like I'm pussy. Because there's some people approach aggressively, but I know how to, like, dead it right away. Like, yo, we not on this time. You want me to play your music? This is definitely not the approach. Oh, I respect it. So let me finish doing what I'm doing. And there's a time and place for certain conversations. Right now, it's just not it. But I respect what you're doing. I ain't even hear your music, so I can't. But then they're so used to DJs kind of like hiding from the artist or disrespecting the artist, so they feel like this is the way I got to come. But, you know, it depends on the person, on the DJ, on the artist. It's just everyone's different, bro.